It's a great question. One of the biggest reasons is it saves you a lot of time. Typically, before ELDT, you would go to a truck driving school, you would commute every day, you would sit in a classroom for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time, and then you would commute home, right? All that takes up a lot of time, probably takes up about 10 or 11 hours out of a given day. With ELDT Online at the CDL eXpert, you can control when you train, how much in a day you want to train, and go at your own pace. That's the beauty of it, is it's self-paced. The pace that's right for you, not necessarily for the truck driving school. Well, one of the biggest reasons that that's important is consistency. Okay, I ran truck driving schools for 35 years. We had great instructors that were experienced. We trained them well. We invested in them and their presentation skills. That being said, they're human beings. They might have had a bad night the night before. They might be in a bad mood. Maybe they've got some personal issues going on. Who knows? Maybe they skip some topics. You're sitting there for 8, 9, 10 hours a day listening to a person present information to you. You can't always verify the consistency. With the online training, especially in the CDL Experts program, it's 100% the same every time you look at it. If you miss a concept, you simply hit pause and replay. Consistency is just a great reason for online training. Well, one big money saver is time, right? The time you're sitting in a live classroom is time that you're not working. That alone, even at $15, $16 an hour, that's 60 hours. That's a fair amount of money, especially with the time and expense of commuting every day to a truck driving school, going and back and forth. The other thing is that the partner schools we've talked to and that work with us are granting anywhere from $700 to $1,000 in tuition credit off of their tuition if you've already done ELDT and CLP, and time credit. So you're skipping that 40, 50, 60 hours of live classroom training, which may or may not be consistent. Well, trucking is a fantastic occupation, requires, compared to other blue-collar skills, less training, some complicated licensing, but the CDL eXpert helps you navigate that. We're finding typically people that are getting into trucking are doubling their income. Average income of the incoming students is $3,000 or less per month. You can reasonably expect in your first 12 months to earn gross roughly $6,000 a month. So generally that's a doubling. And you think about what would twice the income I'm taking in each and every month right now mean for my family? I'll leave it up to you all to do the math, but it's probably pretty compelling. Typically, that's what our students or people that are getting into the CDL field are earning $3,000 or less per month on average. Well, different freight will pay drivers differently. A lot of it depends on the overall value of the load. Sometimes it's the freight lane that you're in, sometimes it's seasonal demand. One great thing that students do is they get their hazmat endorsement or hazardous materials. That gives them the rating and the certification to take more and varied types of loads, gives them more flexibility for dispatch. And hazmat is not just really dangerous goods, some of it is, but a lot of it is just certain quantities of common household items like multiple pallets of cleaning bleach. A pallet of that could be considered a quantity of hazardous materials, so it shouldn't scare people. But all those things contribute to a load or a run paying more. And again, it depends on what you're hauling and when you're hauling it. Certain times of the year, refrigerated loads, produce, meat, very high value, time sensitive load tends to pay a little. That's just an example of the field. Well, compared to a lot of other blue-collar occupations, yeah, it is. In my expert opinion and my experience, you're talking about a blue-collar skill, doesn't require a high school diploma or a college degree, with a 4 to 6 week training cycle. That's pretty fast, starting with a program like the CDL eXpert, where we guide you through the entry-level driver training requirements, your endorsement training, and provide training to get your CLP. We make it very fast for you. It's time affordable, and then it segues you right into the behind-the-wheel training that you'll do to ultimately receive and earn your CDL. You know, it depends on what you mean by difficult. Certainly navigating the CDL Experts program, we make it easy for you to acquire the minimum theory knowledge that's required. And then with the quality behind the wheel schools that we partner with, they're very good at helping you navigate the licensing process and having the skills to pass your driving exam or your skills exam. Also in our program, we lay out a detailed step-by-step 12-month career plan where I've found over 30 years, students that followed this plan and went to work immediately upon graduation, went with a carrier that would train them and onboard them as an entry-level driver, were the most successful. So that's the easiest path to enter the industry in a short period of time, as well as earn money that in many cases is doubling your monthly income. Always a good time to start a trucking career. Now obviously you evaluate it with other options, and if you have options right now where you can double your income, your monthly income in a short 4 to 6 week period, you've got to take that into consideration. Most people don't have that luxury. So the market is good, the market is always good. There's a lot of retirements in the trucking industry, and freight is growing. As freight grows, more trucks are needed, more drivers are needed to drive those trucks.